I just want to do one more quick audio check before we get started. I just have to wait for this to, oh, I need to make sure I'm up at the live portion. Oh man. Okay. But hi everyone, I'm Rebecca. Let's see. I just want to do one more quick audio check. That's sounding pretty good. Pretty good. It's just sunrise in California. Yep, your first ChemKnits live stream. Woo! And I'm actually live right now. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you've been enjoying the spinning. Yes, I am actually live right now. Although I suppose if someone's watching a replay later, then I won't actually be live. But it's currently a little after 9:30 a.m. Eastern time in Massachusetts. I mean, Eastern time everywhere, I suppose. But so I guess if that helps to determine whether or not I am live. So today we're gonna do some more spinning. In my last live stream, I finished off this first bobbin. This had 100 grams of my hand-dyed roving spun, and I am maybe halfway through. I didn't weigh it, but approximately halfway through the second set, and then maybe in the next stream we'll ply the yarn or something. So that's kind of where we are now. But I did notice, and I want to say this so that way I remember in the future, that the newer bobbin I'm using, it's harder to get the tension right. Like it doesn't take up as well, and I wonder if like I've worn into or smoothed out part of like where the break band goes on here, but I've definitely noticed a difference, and so that has surprised me a bit. Yeah, it's I am up at like 6 most days to get the kids ready for school. But anyway, I think I already said I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, but before I start spinning, I have some announcements. I am so excited that pre-orders for the 2025 ChemKnits Hanukkah yarn sampler are now available. Yay! I will have a link to this down in the video description. It should be pinned in the chat, and I just added it into the live chat as well. Basically, every Hanukkah, I will create a special series of videos where I'll dye a different type of colorway using different techniques every night of Hanukkah. The videos come out after sundown. And the samplers I put together have a 10-gram mini skein of either fingering or DK weight yarn that's dyed in each of those videos. So you can watch the video and then unwrap your yarn while watching to see exactly how I created and to see the differences from what you see on screen to what you see in person. And then you can swatch different types of hand-dyed yarn to see how those colorways may work up. Because normally I dye my yarn in small enough batches that only 1 to 3, 1 to 4 people ever get to work the yarn up and see what it turns into. Well, for Hanukkah, lots of people can do that. And so the whole thing is so exciting. And there are some extras. Oh, I should go over here. Haha. Need to move my things around. All right. No. What did I do? Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. It like auto, there we go, change the size. All right, so if you go to my Etsy shop, ChemKnits Creations on Etsy, there is a Hanukkah tab. Now the big thing I want to note, this is the 2025 Hanukkah sampler pre-order. This is last year's Hanukkah sampler, the 2024. I tried to change the thumbnail to make it very clear that that is the old one. It is on sale, 30% off. So yeah, you can get last year's sampler, but for this year, for the new add-ons, we have a silky add-on I'll tell you about, and a sparkle add-on. For those add-ons, priority goes to people who have purchased one of the 2025 Hanukkah samplers. You don't have to place it both in the same order. You can do one order of the sampler and then a separate order for the add-ons. You don't need to then purchase an additional sampler. Just make mention in the notes to seller that you already ordered your sampler for this year. And this is just so that way if someone is getting the whole sampler with fun extras and wrapping and all that stuff, they get priority for those bonus full skeins. So our sparkle colorway this year is a fingering weight yarn. It is 90% superwash merino wool, 10% Lurex. It's very silvery, shiny, sparkly. I believe, did the video come out recently? I don't remember if that video has been public yet or not. I edited a video recently about it. But it is so much fun. And so that is one of the bonus colorways. And so after the 8th night of Hanukkah, either, I don't know if Sparkle or Silky will come out first, but the dyeing of that will be its own video. And then the other add-on right now is the Silky add-on. This colorway is available on 2 different yarn bases, fingering weight and DK weight, and it is 50% superwash merino, 50% silk. Both of those bases are. So it's got a high silk content, it's got gorgeous drape, it's super, super soft. And so those are the bonuses that are currently available right now. Later on, there may be some more yarn mops and things like that, but for now, these are the bonuses that are available. So if I come over here onto the listing, all right, we've got the sampler. And so each night you can unwrap a mini skein while you dye your yarn. I realize I cannot see the chat. And then fingering or DK weight for the samplers. So each sampler is going to have at least 9 wrapped packages in it. So there'll be a wrapped package for each of the 8 nights, and then there'll be a 9th package that has a 20-gram mini skein in it. That'll be a bonus colorway or yarn mop that I dyed in one of the first 8 nights, or in one of the 2, I guess technically nights 9 and 10, like bonus nights from the series. The samplers will ship in November 2025, and the first day of Hanukkah is the 14th of December, which is very exciting for me because that's the day after my birthday. And so that means that I basically get 9 days of Hanukkah. Okay, and so here is some stuff from last year. This is last year's packaging. I actually have one nearby that I may show off later. You can actually see last year's colors. So this isn't designed as a fade set. The goal, I try to put the order together in an order that makes sense, but the goal of it is to create different types of colorways and showcase different techniques so you can play with the yarn. And then last year we had 4 progress keepers and a sticker. There's also always a signed card from me. This is another year of packaging. Another year. I try to vary up the packaging each year. So in general, you can open your sampler without getting spoiled. Some of the extras might get spoiled, but the yarn should be hidden. Occasionally things pop open. So that is just super, super exciting. Now, in terms of announcements, nope. There's one more special pre-order going on right now, and this is almost ready to ship. It should ship by next week, and this is the 2025 Mystery Halloween colorway. And so, yeah, this is available on a few different yarn bases. There are some yak blends. The DK weight yak blend is a merino yak linen blend that it came out so cool. I am so excited. And these 100-gram skeins will come wrapped with an extra as well. And I will pop, there's a link to that in the video description. I'm going to link it in the chat. No, oh, no, I don't want that to be in an emote. Oh, that's why I couldn't post it. Let's see. Paste. I was like, I am far away from the computer. So that is that Hanukkah sampler. All right, and now those can go away. Ha! Okay, now we can get on to my spinning project. And so what are we at? 9:42. That's not so bad. About 12 minutes in. I wish I could. Oh no, what did I just do? Oh no, I'm fine. I thought I pressed something wonky. But to refresh all of you, and I think I have the audio for this off, hopefully. But here I am dyeing the roving. The roving that I'm spinning is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and I dyed it by speckling some acid dye powders onto, I should go this way, onto the fiber, letting it spread out, and then adding even more color. Because there's no twist in the roving and there's really little resist, the colors spread so much, giving us a lot of coverage on our fiber. Of course, things look darker when they are wet than they do when they are dry, but you know, that's what gives us this beauty here. Oh, and that was me talking about how I had to get my wheel ready to go again for that first day. And then this is what I had as like a preview for the stream, a little recap of where we were in the past. And so in the last live stream, I finished up, again, this bobbin right here, but I figured that I would show this to you just so that way you could see some images of the yarn that are better than what comes from the webcam. So, and actually this clip right here, I'm really happy about because, oh no, not this one. It's the next time, it's a close-up of me drafting. Because I picked a point of the fiber where it was going to transition, I think, from blue to pink, and you can see that if you pay attention. Not that the average like shorts viewer would necessarily pay attention to that, but a girl's got to try. Okay, this is the clip I'm talking about. I know the blue matched my dress, but as like this clip goes on, it gets more blue, and that blue disappears, and we start to get more like a little bit of white, and then it's going to transition into the pink, and then you can see that the spun yarn got more and more pink. And so that's just so fun. And while that finishes, let's see. I'm going to hold the iPad so I can read chat. Good morning, good morning. Yes. No, there's definitely 8 nights of Hanukkah. Riley, there's 8 nights. I think it can get confusing because the Jewish calendar, the day starts at sundown. So the first night of Hanukkah is on a different calendar date than the first day. And so therefore it can look like, even though there are 8 days, like the 9th of Hanukkah is the beginning of the 8th day. And so, but a lot of people also talk about that as like the end of Hanukkah, if that makes sense. So that's why sometimes I think the calendar can feel a little bit confusing, but there are 8 nights. And the other thing I didn't add is that as I should transition to the wheel, here we go. The other thing that I'll add is that I am Jewish, which is why I do like a Hanukkah sampler versus an Advent of some kind. And you don't have to be Jewish to participate in ChemKnits Hanukkah. I am inviting you to participate with me, and there's nothing, I mean, it's just a fun holiday. I'm just dyeing yarn. Occasionally, there's usually a behind-the-scenes vlog, and I usually don't even end up being able to share many of our Hanukkah traditions in the vlog because usually most of it's been filmed and edited before Hanukkah actually begins, and so that makes everything a little bit more complex. In terms of that, and turning my brake band on. But yeah, it's, you know, I've had people in the past being like, oh, can I participate if I'm not Jewish? And the answer is absolutely, because I am inviting you to if that makes you feel better. And there's, I mean, I still have some left over from last year, which is what it is. I did not promo it that heavily. Let's see. New to my channel. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. I'm gonna hydrate, even though it's soda. So does that count as hydrating? Not really. I wish I could make the text of the chat bigger. And oh yeah, one other, oh no. It's really hard to do this with a computer so far away. This is what I needed. Edit. In the chat, paste. Knitpicks is having a Halloween sale, and I am a Knitpicks affiliate. I do have my wheel and the bare fiber that I had dyed linked in the video description as well. Sweet, and I think it let me do that link in. Okay, I'm gonna put you, where did I put, okay, I put that there, put that there. All right. This is where I am, and so I did do some spinning off camera. I need to get myself all situated. I spent some time off camera. We were watching, what movie were we watching? Oh, the tension is too high. I wish I could remember what movie it was. I feel like it was something that I wanted to watch versus the kids. It wasn't K-pop Demon Hunters because the kids told me that I had to watch that. Oh man. Oh, I remember what I wanted to do. I still haven't oiled it, by the way. I just wanted to post, I took a picture of the yarn. Share to my stories. I miss when YouTube had stories. The start, progress, the beginning of my spinning session. There we go. Not that stories is something that I post frequently or anything remotely like that. But it was handy for like announcements just because it was something that like disappeared. I think on YouTube they disappeared after like a week, and so that was convenient. Now, so if you are watching right now, feel free to mention in the chat where you're watching from or what you're doing while watching me spin up this yarn. I know some of you are working. That is totally fine. I mean, hey, I'm working. Oh, man. To some extent, it really is like riding a bike to spin, and like doing it more, I'm now getting like a good feel of like, okay, I know how much fiber I want to feel in between my hand. And I also want to add, I would consider myself to be like a novice spinner, maybe advanced beginner, but I am not an expert. I have a lot that I could learn, a lot of places where I could improve, and so, yeah. Oh, this is so pretty though. You're working in Utah, woohoo! Oh man, and I have like a hat that I started that I never finished because I haven't decided if I want to try to like extend it or do some kind of pom-pom. And like that's hibernated like way too long. And I just had Dye Pot Weekly 600 come out, and actually the blank and the unraveled yarn from the vertical sock blank, those are available in the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop right now. The horizontal ones, the horizontal stripes that give more like traditional stripes, those ones have sold out. And yeah, I was just making swatches, and actually I need to continue working on the video. Knitpick sent me a bunch of presents. I found a project I want to do. They sent me some of their new wooden crochet hooks. and they sent me, they're not paying me to like share it, but I do need to share it. I'll try to share these next week. But I was filming some clips of the new, they also sent me a new like interchangeable needle set, like in a clutch. They sent me one last year, and then I was like, oh, since you sent me short needles last year, this year, will you send me, because last year I said I had no preference, will you send me like the regular length? And the size of the clutch is so different. Here, I'm gonna grab it because it's so pretty. I didn't link to it or anything here. But sometimes people ask like what I like to use. These are my favorite knitting needles of all time, are the wooden interchangeable needles from Knit Picks. Okay, and so this was the set that I unboxed last year. I forget the color, but it's like a navy, and these are the short tips. It's a cute little like vegan leather clutch. The set with the regular tips is so much bigger. It's also thinner, but it's bigger. And I need to learn more about the like sustainability stuff. And this one also came, there's a big price difference between them. This one comes with 9 sets of tips, but look at how pretty. These ones are more like natural colored. There's a set that's like more gray, but I decided because I had the navy last year to go with this color. It's just really, really pretty. I probably should have pulled out the biggest ones. That'll be easier to see on camera. But they're really pretty. Very neutral. But yeah, then I realized, I mean, I could have known this from counting, but the bigger set comes with more sets of needles and more cables. And I finally used the swivel cables for the first time, but I was only using them when I was making my swatches for Tuesday's video. And so, so the swatches for Tuesday's video is when like I first used it. And so I was just using stockinette on like a flat mini swatch, so it wasn't something where I was working enough to know how much the swivel makes a difference. But I'm excited to try it with a hat because I want to dye. I'm making myself this rainbow hat right now that out of yarn I dyed like a year ago. I'm so bad. I mean, I've been working on this hat for definitely over a year because it just, I'm so close to this end, and I think, I don't know if I've even started the decreases or if I'm deciding if I want to make it longer and wait, and I'm being indecisive, but I'll grab that. I'll sit and spin eventually. Everything is so tight in here, I'm gonna hit the camera. So this is the hat. And so I think my conundrum, I mean, I'm starting the red, and then I have this variegated section that I think I'll do a pom-pom with. And I intentionally did this so it would start at the purple, so that way I could have the purple next to my face. And I love this, except the stripes are so harsh. And so I wish, and this is why I think I need to do, like, I need to make a blank and then do this same kind of colorway with the same colors, because I wish that the colors blended together more as I move up. And so like, yeah, and so it's just too striped. Now, it's gorgeous. I love it. I love a good rainbow. But the dyer in me loves that I basically dyed connected mini skeins here, but wants it to feel more, I want more transition. And another thing I could do besides, it may be easier to do this without making a blank. I could do this but have more connected mini skeins in the project. So if I, rather than doing 7 connected minis is where I think I ended up there. If I did this with like 15 connected minis, I could do like an intermediate section. Like I could do the purple, and then I could do a blended purple and blue. So then we still have basically stripes, but then it will make it more of a fade versus like, yeah, versus being stripy. So that's the only thing. And so who knows, maybe I'll finish this hat and then give it to someone else. I mean, I love it. I love the yarn. I'm obsessed with it. But I'm like, I have the capability to dye the hat that I want. Now, the other thing I could do is another thing that has been on my list forever and I keep forgetting, and I will probably forget after this stream, is I've been wanting to knit a hat and then dye it. I need to write these down because I want to remember all these things. Yay, thank you, someone who ordered something. Remember. Finally knit a hat so then you can dye it, Rebecca, period. Also do a rainbow gradient like the hat you knit, but blend it because that's what you really want. Oh man, let's see. Yeah. And if any of you are curious about me, I know a lot of you know this, but I live just outside Boston. Like, well, technically, I could be in Boston in like 5 minutes, but it's in like, I mean, it's a zip code that technically, like, the mayor of Boston is their mayor. So that's why I'm like, technically. But from, like, where most of us would consider the city, like, 20 minutes. So, I legit live just outside Boston. Hee hee hee. Back to spinning. But anyway, yeah, I need to do some shorts for them. But it's nice. I mean, technically, like, they've reached out, and because, you know, they'll offer things that sometimes they'll reach out and be like, hey, do any of you, like, affiliates need things for, like, your fall projects? And I think, like, if I was saying, hey, I want to make a sweater, they would probably, I bet I could ask and they would give me like materials for it. But at this point, I'm mostly knitting out of my own hand-dyed yarn. And so I think it's hard for me to say, hey, you want to send me some free bare yarn for me to then sell? Like, that doesn't feel kosher, you know? But occasionally I've asked them for samples of things and they've sent them to me. But I guess whenever, like, I guess they changed hands recently, and I had a project that I finished my part of, but it's hibernating. But that's a secret. I don't have an NDA or anything, but. So it's almost time for me to check in on that again. But I will say that for all there's something that was hibernating, I have been fully compensated for my part. And so, you know, they haven't left me in the lurch. I was just excited. There was some plant material in here. Oh, man. We went to Yellowstone this summer, and there was, for part of the trip we did like Grand Teton National Park first. So we stayed in Jackson Hole. And then, wait, was there a yarn store there too? Not that I didn't see, not one that I saw. But then we were in West Yellowstone and there was a yarn store, and I went in and just kind of glanced. It was like Yarn and Fabric. and I didn't look that closely, but then like my husband was like, oh yeah, they said that they had bison yarn. And I was like, I went in and I didn't see anything like that. I saw like hand-dyed yarn, but like I glanced and I'm like, man, did I miss an opportunity? Because I saw lots of bison on that trip, and that was super, super, super fun. Woohoo. Which side do I want to start from? They're both very blue. The goal of this was to create something, basically my goal was, these singles are really thin right now, was to create something that was not purple. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's purple in here, but my goal was not to be the purpliest of the purple when I created this. I haven't taken any beauty shots today yet. I didn't even bring the other camera in here. I will eventually. Who knows if we'll actually finish this today or if we'll just get a lot of the way through. I'm hoping that we'll make some decent progress. I know souvenir yarn is the best. The problem is that my stash, like I probably have multiple and this is not counting like my bare yarn inventory in my shop. Personally, my stash is massive. Oh gosh, but I forget the name of it. I just learned, I think it's in Somerville, there is a crafting thrift shop. And so I don't know if they source things from like estate sales or Goodwill, but they have tons of like yarn, needles. They have like vinyl for crickets and stuff. And I think, you know, they have stuff for all different kinds of crafts, because I think I'm like curious if I can donate some stuff that like I know I'm not going to use, because I'm like, oh, if like, and I don't know, I don't know if they're for profit or not, but still, I'm like, if I have things that I'm not going to use, I need to find like places to donate de-stash and stuff to. Oh gosh, and I'm not even counting all the like knit crate yarn I have. Oh yes, there are definitely brands, and including big brands, that will dye colorways that will be unique to like a certain shop. I do not wholesale any of my yarn. My overhead is huge. But also, when I dye a colorway, I'll dye like 3 skeins, and I'll do techniques that often could be a little bit more labor intensive, and I only have the capacity to dye, like, you know, depending on the technique, a limited number of skeins at a time. And so the dyers that have a studio where they have like multiple like steam pan warmers, or they have a proofing cabinet so they can heat a lot of yarn at once, that gives you a level of more flexibility than what I have with my stove. Now, I would love to build a studio out someday, but I can't like afford rent. And then also, if I was starting to increase the production of like some of my colorways, the issue that I would have is that I would then be creating less content if I'm trying to, say, dye up sweater quantities of stuff. Now, I have dyed sweater quantities of some projects occasionally. I've done that a few times for some lab partners. And so, oh gosh, I'm plugging all kinds of things shop-y today. Okay. So if you love my stuff, you can become a lab partner where you get shout outs in an episode of Dye Pot Weekly. You'll get some of the yarn that's been dyed in that video as well. And basically you tell me some colors to avoid, and then I'll design a project with you in mind. Now, this is like doing something funky. And the whole thing is so much fun. Now, I've occasionally had some people interested in like a sweater's quantity, and if you want more than like 2 or 3 skeins in the colorway, just reach out to me in advance and I can check both the inventory of the yarn base that you're interested in that I have, and like let you know if I have like the current capacity in my schedule to do something like that. For example, like right now, when I'm working on Hanukkah, then you know I can't necessarily do like a sweater's quantity. But there was one where someone wanted like yellow with speckles, and I did a sweater's quantity of that. And if you are, yeah, and so I don't do a lot of stuff that's dyed to order, but that is a time where I will intentionally dye a lot of a particular colorway. You're currently, oh no, I can't see the rest of the comment. Oh, Facebook Marketplace. Don't feel guilty over the state of the stash. Man, I need to look up this store. Yarn thrift store in Boston. No. Crafting. Make and Mend. They're a brick and mortar shop and an internet thrift store for art supplies. They accept donations of gently used creative materials by drop-off, pickup, or by mail. Our goal is to make supplies affordable, accessible, and plentiful. And so it's super, super cute. And so I don't think they're a nonprofit or anything, but the mission of it, it can be intimidating to start a new hobby, and sometimes it can be really expensive to get started, and then you don't necessarily know if you even like the hobby, and so then that can be hard, right? And that was one reason why, and I would like to do more weaving this winter as well. I have some ideas of what I would like to make. What was I going to say? Oh, but I love the idea of that because I was nervous to buy a rigid heddle loom, and then a follower actually was like, I have one that's creating dust. This is someone who had ordered stuff for me before, and she offered to send me a rigid heddle loom. And so I got one for free, and that was like super, super generous. Now, in general, my opinion is that if you have leftover crafting supplies, you don't need to give it to me. I have people reach out and be like, hey, I have extra dyes, or hey, I have extra bare yarn that I'm not going to use. Do you want it? Can I send it to you? And I try to recommend to send it to someone else because I have plenty of yarn, and since and if a company wants to send me samples, like fine, but if you're going to send things that you don't need to someone else, send it to someone who it can make more of a difference. Because when I started all of this, I would dye like 2 to 3 grams of yarn at a time in a video. I would try to make that bare yarn stretch as far as possible. And it was like a financial thing. So it's like, okay, I don't want to spend too much money on any of this. And you know, I was very, very nervous about all that. And so that's also where all of my Leave No Die Behind ethos originally came from. Like if I had leftover food coloring that I mixed, I didn't want to get rid of it because like it wasn't cheap, right? And so well, that's cool. You currently just need fabric. I know I'm so sad that Joann's closed. Although the one near me used to be amazing. And then they stopped having stuff. Actually, forget Joann's. There was in Western Central Mass, in Framingham, there was a fabric store called Button Box. And it's where I got the idea for one of the quilt I made for Ryder. They had like a sample hanging on the wall, and I was like, I want to make my own version of that. That looks amazing. And they had amazing fabrics, like higher quality stuff than Joann's, and so I would get like the backing for quilts there. It was just a stunning, stunning, stunning store. And you know, there was a point where the owners wanted to retire and they were trying to see if someone would buy it, and it just didn't work out. And I think also like the lease was up, and like the building, I mean the building isn't there anymore, so I think that like they wanted to like sell the lot or something, and you know, it was just really sad for that to go. And then now Joann's is also gone, so I don't know where to buy fabric. I mean, there's places online, like I've bought fabric from Spoonflower and things, but I actually love Spoonflower. I got a ton of canvas that I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna make reusable wrapping paper out of this. I got a ton of super fun Hanukkah like prints. I think I got like Hanukkah guinea pigs. Like I got stuff that made me so excited, because one of the things that I've been doing, I love, love, love giving gifts. I love giving gifts so much. And one of the things I've started doing more recently is using less wrapping paper and using more like drawstring bags that we then reuse, because I just didn't have time to wrap things. And, you know, it started to feel like a little bit ridiculous to like wrap all kinds of stuff. So we use a lot of like reusable packaging and whatnot. And so I was like, oh, so I got fabric to make some. I haven't made it yet. Oh, I had the best plans. I had the best plans to do that. But anyway, I bought a bunch of fabric from Spoonflower because, yeah. And back in the day when my kids had cribs, there was like a Spoonflower artist that I used, I think the same artist, to do the, I got some like peel and stick wallpaper, and I used that to decorate the sides of the cribs to make them themed. And actually, the kids were very, very sad when I mean, this is now years ago, when we were going to get rid of the toddler beds and get them bunk beds. And so what I did, and I haven't done anything with it yet, is I bought fabric of those prints that I had used for each of their cribs, and I was like, okay, we can make something out of this. I have this print, so that's not going away. Wait, all messages. I want to see all messages. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. Oh yeah, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're just tuning in, I am spinning some singles of Peruvian Highland wool. My spinning wheel is going counterclockwise, so S. And yes, I realize that as someone who primarily knits, I should have gone the other way, but I forgot. I had not spun for years when I started this series, but I've been saying for years I was going to spin again. Ooh, this is a good spot to get some beauty shots. I've been saying for years I was going to spin yarn again, and I finally made myself do it, and I'm very proud for that. All right, I'm gonna go grab like my camera, and I think I have not inserted any ads yet today. I'm gonna insert a brief ad. Don't worry if you don't see it. The almighty algorithm decides who sees ads and things like that. Okay, I already have the tripod over here. I should get it this way. Ooh-wee. Ah, bollocks. I really wish I could like spin and do a watch party or something. That would be really fun. I don't have enough places to put things today. Me. Okay. Ah! Okay. Why are you not coming up? Oh. Okay. And feel free to leave any questions about, I mean, I suppose anything while I'm working on it. I'm happy to share about like things about my business and whatnot. Okay. Oh, am I not on that mode? Oh my gosh, I can't see. Okay. Nope, I'm not singing. I am not singing. I totally am singing. It's just a very pretty section of the colors blending together. Like, it would be so fun to like spin and watch a movie and do that as like a live stream. Oh my, that got thin. But the problem with that is that like there would be all kinds of like copyright stuff. I don't know how like people on Twitch do that, but we're getting some really cool barber pulling. Just showing those color transitions. This isn't that good of a beauty shot. What did I do last time that made it so nice? I mean, I know that the pink is gone. Let's swing this around. I might be able to do this. There we go. Oh my. I wish I could remember the exact, let's not break the camera, angle that I used last time. Oh, maybe I did it from over here because then I blocked less of the fiber. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I know what I could do though. That's different. I don't know if I can spin like this. Nah, this is a weird angle. I'm like, can I get a POV? Not really. Oh, it's okay. I got pretty footage from this so that if I eventually like edit this all together, it'll be fine. But I'll be able to see the iPad again in a second. Oh, no, no, no. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Guys, I am on a roll today. Okay. I knocked over my drink, but the nice thing is that it's not a problem because it didn't spill. So that's a win. Let's see. Spinning a watch party would be so cool. You vote for watching K-pop Demon Hunters while spinning. I mean, it would be awesome, but I don't want. I mean, I'll be honest. It's not that I don't make very much revenue from like a live stream or anything anyway. So that is not entirely the concern. But I just don't want to get like a copyright claim, you know. But yeah, the kids are obsessed. They want to be characters for Halloween, which is going to be adorable. I think Ryder wants to be Mystery, which like he can brush his hair in front of his face and kind of, I mean, he wants a wig, but you can kind of do that anyway. I think Lucas wants to be Baby, which I'm like, okay, sure. We'll try to make it happen. We have a general question for everyone who spins. Do you use spindles? What do you think of them? Yeah, so drop spindles are a great way. We were talking about affordable ways to like do crafting and things, and a spinning wheel is an investment. Spinning wheels are not cheap, but you know what is cheap? Drop spindles. They are a lot harder to use. It took me a long time when I first started to like get to where like it took me multiple tries. And so the issue I had when I first had a drop spindle is I would have fiber. It was like, okay, I'll make it nice and thin, right? And then I'd go to spin it, and this was still so thick that you can't get that much twist in it, and so therefore it wouldn't draft, right? Because it's so thick. I didn't realize, oh, okay, you want to be able to pull the fiber apart from each other. And so I don't remember if I finally watched a video or got another book from the library when I finally figured it out, and I'm like, oh. And so then I was able to do like pretty good singles with the drop spindle. But, you know, I couldn't really ply things well. And sometimes I would get breakage when I would remove the yarn from the drop spindle. And so we went to like Stitches Midwest or something, and I tried out a spinning wheel and loved it. Because I'm like, oh, you don't have to worry about, like, it's so easy to keep this spinning, right? I don't have to look at it. With a drop spindle, you get used to the rhythm of like spinning, letting it fall, stopping, winding the yarn around the shaft, and continuing to go. And so you can get a really good rhythm with it. And it's very quiet and very portable. But I found it more challenging to use And these days, I mean, I still have some thick and thinness, and I think I'm spinning probably like fingering to light fingering singles here. I think that sorry, I have words. I think that if I were to pick up a drop spindle, I would struggle because I haven't used one in a decade. But that isn't a reason to not use one, you know? Oh, you just ordered some pretty yarn from me? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. We're at a point in the stream where I can say again, hi, everyone. And also the Hanukkah pre-orders are available in the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop for my Hanukkah samplers. And I have that pinned in the chat. And it's also in the description. Oh man. So I don't know when the next spinning live stream will be. Probably not until next month. I am about to get a lot busier dyeing up the Hanukkah yarn. And yeah, but hopefully I'll do some yarn dyeing live streams in there as well. Oh, I'm getting a little bit thicker. I have no idea if I'm going to make it through all of this today. And the reason why I'm saying that is I need to like straighten my back, straighten my posture. Oh man. Because one thing, after getting, you know, a repetitive stress injury, one thing I really try to do is to listen to my body. All right, and we are not uptaking things well. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining, Nicole. And I know I didn't call out everyone by name, but I appreciate all you guys being here and watching and hanging out with me while I spin up some yarn. And so I would say that if I don't finish this today, then I think I will try to finish this off camera so that way we can ply the yarn in the next stream. And I think that'll be fun. Oh, you know what I will do? I am going to hide my camera. There we go. And I'm just going to record a little bit. I love how my Black Panther Crocs really do not match the rest of my outfit. But there is nothing wrong with that. I guess I picked like a boring-ish spot to do this. Because we're all light blue right now. But the fun thing with playing with color, actually, I know what I want to do. Okay, Rebecca, a short idea. I started spinning yarn after I started making my own hand-dyed yarn and realized that there's a limit to the ways that you can add color to your yarn when you're dyeing already spun yarn. But with spinning and plying your own yarns, then suddenly you have more options. You can have the colors blend in a barber pole while you're spinning the singles. You can have variegated yarn and ply them together with completely different colorways, so then you can get a really unique 2-ply or 3-ply yarn. And it just opened up a whole other way to play with color and yarn, and I was so excited about it. And so that was the thing that got me started dyeing roving in the first place, and then got me started spinning yarn. And so it's just like another level of the color journey you can get to. Now I suppose after spinning yarn One of the next things from here versus, you know, from spinning hand-dyed roving is to blend my own color combinations, so then you can make heathered yarns and I can add things like sparkle to it. I'm not there yet, but maybe someday. No! I did all that and I didn't record it. Oh no, I'm so happy with it. I'm planning on doing a 2-ply yarn with this. Okay, Rebecca, this is for a short. In a moment. Spinning your own yarn is sort of the next step of playing with color and dyeing your own yarn. I realized that there was a limit of how many different ways I could apply color to already spun yarn, and thought it would be fun to learn how to spin, because then you can do so many other kinds of combinations. You can spin 2 completely different variegated colorways and apply them together to get a really fun barber pole multicolored yarn, and you just have more options that you don't have when you dye already dyed yarn. And so many years ago I went from just dyeing yarn to then dyeing unspun fiber like I have here and playing around with it. Now I suppose the next level up from here would be learning how to blend my own fibers, so that way I could dye fibers and have variegated fiber, but then also add things like sparkle to it and things like that to make my own art yarns, and make heathered yarns and all kinds of things. I'm not there yet. I don't have a blending board or anything like that, but maybe someday. I feel like the last version of the audio I liked. So Rebecca, it is currently it's currently 10:35. The previous version that I thought I recorded but I didn't would have been like within the last 10 minutes or so in the stream. So you could try to find it and download the whole stream and then edit that if you really wanted. Oh, but that would be way more complicated. Take 2 and action. Exactly. Oh my gosh, there are so many times that this happens to me, and it is so frustrating. The worst times when this happens will be when I am filming a video. And so with a DSLR that I film all my videos on, if the camera has, quote, gone to sleep, you kind of have to press record once to wake the camera up, and then press record a second time to actually start filming. But if the camera is already awake, then you only have to press record once. And so if I'm not taking a big break between things and filming multiple clips, I don't know if I accidentally only press it once or press it twice or what, but there'll be times when I press the button and I go and look and I didn't actually record it. Or maybe I left the camera on and forgot that I left the camera on, so turned it off when I thought I was turning it on. And so there are times when I'll miss like the big moment where things happen, and that's always really, really sad. But you know, stuff happens. And sometimes I notice, I feel like most of the time I notice while I'm still working on filming the video versus noticing in editing. Now, occasionally, the other way footage gets lost is one of the things I do with my raw footage is that I will sort it into different folders. And I have this whole system, so that way, basically I have a folder where nothing on my like external hard drive. I have a folder that I'll call like 2025 September 2. And in there is all the raw footage of all the videos that I have filmed but have not started editing. And that folder gets renamed with the current month over and over. in my, and then I will have a second folder that's like, you know, September 2025, whatever, one. And in there, I'll put the videos where I've started doing some editing, I moved the files back onto my computer, or whatnot. And that doesn't always mean that that's the month when the video actually finishes getting edited. It just means in theory I'm about to start editing it. And so this means that it's really easy for me when I start running out of space to remove files into like my raw footage archive and things like that. And so each video gets its own folder. I have like a different folder where I keep the last minute lab partner videos. And so it makes it really easy for me to go and look and be like, oh, okay, these are the things I'm working on. Or, gee, most of the videos that I filmed have been edited. Gosh, I need to film some more videos to have more things in progress for backup. Because what happens if there's like a school vacation week or I get sick and then can't talk? I feel like there was one year I lost my voice like 4 different times. There was one time I even had to have Lucas record a voiceover for me because I just had no voice at all, which was really, really funny. And so I organize all those files. And so the other way footage gets lost sometimes is that I'll dye a lot of yarn in a day, and then I'll wash the yarn for multiple videos all together. Sometimes things end up in the wrong folder. And then sometimes I can go and be like, I remember filming this, and I can search because I can kind of figure out, okay, that's probably in this. You know how they name files with numbers? I can usually figure out the range of the numbers, and I can go and find it, or sometimes I can go back on the SD card and find it. I never delete files from the SD card until the video is edited and uploaded to YouTube, just in case. And, you know, sometimes then I can find it, and so that's good if I can find it. But other times, you know, I'll be like, oh, I guess, did I forget to film that? And yeah. Oh man, okay. Let's get some more. This is the fiber we're spinning. If you're tuning in, this is hand-dyed 100% Peruvian Highland wool roving. Ooh, I got a nice thin section there. And I dyed it in a live stream last month. I am spinning singles now for an eventual 2-ply yarn. And yeah, because for years, people have been asking me to do some more spinning videos. And so that's what I'm working on. Whew. I don't think I'm going to finish all this in the stream. I was optimistic. But that's okay. We're still having fun. Oh, and when I say that using a drop spindle is hard, once you figure it out, it's not hard. It's harder. I find it harder than using the wheel. So like, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, a spinning wheel will be so tricky and hard to use. And, you know, a spinning wheel is, like, does take some, like, time to learn. But it's definitely not harder than a drop spindle. And that's just because you don't have to worry about the gravity. And by gravity, I mean literal, like, earth to, you know, you drop something and it falls to the ground gravity. Versus just like the, you know, using it as like the heaviness of the situation. Where am I? Oh, good. That's an area I would like to build up. But yeah, the nice thing is that you know, some bare roving or even some dyed roving from like a place like Knit Picks can be really cheap. Oh, I can put my face back on. I keep looking at the camera. I forgot you guys can't see me. Hi, here I am. Nice and tiny. It's weird having my face in the bottom corner, but ultimately I think that then it doesn't block anything I'm doing with my hands, and so then that's nice. If anyone's curious, no, I did not dress up for the stream, but I did intentionally wear a dress because then it's like having a blanket on my lap. In the first stream when I was wearing shorts, like I wear dresses a lot, but normally when I'm working I'll wear like shorts and just like a plain ribbed Old Navy tank top that you see in many of my videos. But yeah, when I did the first one in shorts, I was like, there's the potential for like a wardrobe malfunction or something here, and so I was like, this is just a lot of looking at my knees. Oh man. I can hear the garbage truck. See, now I'm feeling like the tension is really, really high. This particular bobbin, and I mean, I realized this at one point when there was a bobbin that I had used a lot, and then I think I have 4 bobbins, and I would reuse them, the same ones, over and over, and then I brought like one that wasn't the one I used very much out, and I was like, wait, this is working so much better, and I feel like I'm on the quote bad one again. Yay, some teal! I feel like I haven't seen much of you today. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but the camera is auto doing the white balance. Like my dress has sage green in it, so that could be. I was like, oh, I need to adjust. The thing I needed to adjust was on the spinning wheel, not on the camera, like the computer or anything, and so I went for my mouse. That's where my brain went. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm trying to think about what else is going on. Oh, Halloween update. I still have to make the progress keepers, the themed progress keepers that are going to go with it. I have the packaging ready to go, and the yarn is all dyed. I just have to film the conclusions, twist it, and then start shipping. So ideally, some of it could be ready to ship as early as tomorrow, but I'm saying next week to be safe. Even though I'm going on a solo trip this weekend and I'm so excited. Keith and the boys are staying behind, and I'm going to California to go see some friends. Then I'm going to take the red eye back on Monday, and then we have Rosh Hashanah. And I joked, we're going to have like a dinner with friends. And I joked, I was like, okay, if other people bring the food, I will be okay. I can be a zombie around you because you guys are family. But yeah, I can't believe it's almost Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, so I have to figure out when we'll make challah and stuff. I suppose actually I could do that with the kids on Tuesday, if I remember to set up the 11 the night on Monday night when I'm exhausted. Oh my gosh. Or I guess I would have to do everything on Monday. I forget. I forget when the bulk fermentation is for this guy. I do like a sourdough yellow raisin challah. Oh crap, I need yellow raisins. This is when I wish we had like one of those devices and I could like ask like Alexa or someone to help me, but I know our devices listen to us all the time anyway, but it doesn't mean that I need to do it. Rebecca, yellow raisins. I'm like, la 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 la. This is my undiagnosed ADHD. Oh, fun. Cool. And I need to pay attention to with all these Hanukkah pre-orders and things that I have some ready to ship yarn orders of stuff that I'm super excited about. There's some really pretty yarn coming up. Like there's a glazing project coming up that is just like stunning. Although that might not be until November. The nice thing about like doing a lot of editing is that when I do a lot of editing, then I hit a point where I'm like, oh, I don't have any like in progress videos. I need to film more videos, right? And dye more yarn. And so it's a sort of like back and forth. The one thing I am super behind with is, and because like I'm, you know, as I said, I'm traveling, I can't do this tomorrow. I have not yet filmed this month's Dye Pop PS video that ChemKnits patrons get early access to. And this is like the furthest behind I feel like I've ever been with one of those videos. So I don't like being this far behind. Shoot. Got too many fibers. There we go. Maybe a little thick. That's okay. Yeah, so I'm way further behind there than I would like to be. But it is what it is. Because, yeah, so it's the video that, like, I'm ready with the one that will become public at the end of September. But I need to do the one that's for the patrons. And so then I'm like, this is where my brain goes. I'm like, okay, well, I can't set this up on Monday because it's a red eye day. I'm taking a red eye home and I'm going to be exhausted. I can't set this up on Tuesday because it's Rosh Hashanah. And I don't work on Rosh Hashanah. Or at least not on the first day. And then Wednesday, I have a meeting about something unrelated, but I can probably set it up on Wednesday. I think I can set it up on Wednesday. So then that has to be my plan. But that just means that that video is not going to be edited by Friday, but I can maybe work on it over the weekend. The other thing is that with October coming, Lucas's is about to turn 12. And so then I have to get ready for that. So, those are all those things. Oh man, the other thing I need to remember to do later is to go through the live stream and remove all the ads. So eventually when a live stream is done processing, YouTube will then insert ads like every 5 minutes, which is just ridiculous. So I go through and I manually remove many of them. I actually remove a lot of the mid-roll ads they would place in videos. Remember the days when mid-rolls weren't a thing? They then kind of hit a point where like it used to be you didn't need mid-rolls on a video, but then it hit a point where they're like, we're gonna auto add them to every video you've ever done ever. So that happened. I don't know how much more I'm gonna get through, everyone. I am having fun though. Oh man, so my hair is like super frizzy today because I didn't realize it was going to be humid today, and I refreshed my waves this morning just with like a spray bottle of water to like reactivate the like salt spray and stuff I use to keep, that like helps keep like my waves in. But then I went for a walk and it was really humid, so then like everything went. And I want to see, like, I don't have a mirror, but yeah, I'm like, what are my bangs doing? Like, my very light bangs, but I was like, I just feel them going, like, hello. I feel them growing. Oh, funny, I love that it auto-played that still. But yeah. Oh, I can go back to 2 camera. But so I'm feeling that, because I just got my hair cut like a week or so ago. Yeah, last week. Actually, it hasn't even been a whole week yet. Last Wednesday is when I cut it. And so, and I've been, I don't use heat or anything on my hair. I've been enjoying the like very light curtain bangs. But this is the first like really humid day since I've had it, and so I'm like, oh, that's gonna be good. But otherwise, like for air drying my hair all the time, like my stylist did a good job, and so I'm happy. But anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay. What on earth? That is not what I wanted. Just scrolling up. Okay, everything is good. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm not doing that good at talking. That's when I know my brain is starting to go. What else was on the goals for today? I guess to start twisting up and do those Halloween conclusions. If I could do that, that would be awesome. I normally like plan out my week, but I'm so discombobulated. We have like back to school nights and things, and why is that showing up like that? It's like trying to fix settings on the computer. Oh man. All right, yep, my shoulders are starting to get sore, which is telling me I'm coming to the end of what I can do. I'm also getting very, very warm in here, which is silly. I keep my house like pretty cool, but yeah, on a humid day, then you can really, really, really tell. Now, I want to see if I feel like I've made substantial progress from where I started. Okay, I've definitely got a lot more. Oh, you guys can't see. It's like where I started and where I am. Oh man, okay, I'm gonna try to get all the way to the end over there, because I know I started up there. But I gotta listen to my body. But yeah, the episode 600, and so like I plan out my schedule and I have all these things I do to keep track of everything. But then I think that it was like on Friday when I was like, oh wait, episode 600, that's Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I need to actually like unravel these blanks. So I was doing that on Saturday? Friday or Saturday? Okay, we were gone this weekend. And then on Monday, I was knitting swatches. Oh, I was knitting swatches, and yeah. And so then I was like, oh my gosh. And I normally, like occasionally, with Hanukkah or SMSMS, one of my special series, then I will be like editing right up until the day before something comes out. But otherwise, I don't normally do that. Like, most of my schedule is like planned out through like November at this point. And so I think that like the only other 2 videos that have to be done by the end of September are the SMSMS. I also still have to do my Patreon and YouTube, like postdoc, behind the scenes live stream for this month. I have not done that yet. Oh, and I was going to say the Halloween video, but then I forgot that Halloween, I have a month to edit that. So the priorities are those other guys I mentioned. Hoo-wee. Thank you. You're back and 20 minutes behind. About drop spindles. You learned to draft and spin on one, but got an antique wheel not long after. You thought you'd never go back, but now you're obsessed. Oh, that's awesome. I know at some point my well, I'm assuming it's an antique wheel. I talked about this last time, how so on Mackinac Island, there's like a charity auction, or not auction, like yard sale, charity yard sale for the medical center, and people will clear out things in their barns, because since this is an island with no cars on it, when houses usually come furnished, and sometimes people leave a lot of stuff behind because removing stuff is not easy when you're on an island and you have to hire like a horse-drawn dray to come pick up garbage. The island is super fun, but people find all kinds of things in their barns, and like, you know, my parents' house had like some carriages in it that we donated. They donated one of them to like a carriage museum that's on the island, because that was in our barn. And so like people find all kinds of things, because the houses were built in a lot of these houses are as old as the 1800s. And so one year, someone brought this spinning wheel, and my mom bought it for me. And so I think it's got all the wood bits. I don't think it has a lot of I think it's probably missing, like, certainly it's missing like any kind of like drive band or whatever. I don't know. I haven't tried to use it. I haven't looked at it closely enough to figure out what it would need for it to be functional, but I have fun knowing that technically I have it. But like, I would ask my dad to bring it back, but I don't know where it would go. I don't have space in my house for it, and he doesn't have space in his house for it, so. Oops. And I know some people use electric spindles, and I've never tried one of those. So an electric spindle, then, like right now, like I'm treadling, right? And there are single treadle wheels where you only have one pedal, so you only need to use 1 foot at a time. But I love the idea of the electric, like, spinning wheels, because basically you have something that'll just look like this little part. And so they're small, they're compact, and they are more like accessible. Let's like for anyone with like different physical demands and things like that. And so I don't think I'm even going to finish this whole piece. Part of me was like, oh, I'll just go to the end of the bobbin. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll just finish this fiber that I have. But I am getting sore. But I just want to make it a little more even because that's what I like to do. But yeah, the plan, and the next time I stream, which I don't know when yet. Sometimes I schedule dates like Fridays on the calendar, like when I'm planning out episode numbers and stuff. I'll sometimes like save a date and be like, okay, this will either be like a Leave No Die Behind video, some kind of bonus video, or a live stream. And so I try to give myself spots in the schedule where I can do those. Oh no! I'm sorry that you fell! That's not fun. Whew. Hee. Alright. This is a good spot to leave it. I did not film as many clips this time. That's okay. I want to take a picture. Not of me. And this is where we ended up when I stopped. I still have this much fiber left, but I'll finish this up off camera at some point, and then we'll start plying our yarn. And then we'll start plying our yarn, which actually, comparing these two bobbins, now it seems like I have a lot more to go. Oh man, a lot more than I thought, but that's fine. Cool. Okay. And I want to remember to remove tension, Rebecca. Oh, y'all, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today as I spun some yarn. I chatted about Hanukkah. Please go over to the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop and check it out. It is not only like a really, really fun series, but it helps, the Hanukkah special helps fund a lot of the projects for the next year. It is my biggest product thing that I do all year, and so it really, really helps out. Yeah, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and my brain is gone. I hope to be live again in not too long. I don't want too long of a break, but the next time, I think the next live stream will probably be dyeing some yarn, but at some point in October or November, we'll finally come back and ply this yarn so we can finish it up and see what our hand spun yarn looks like. And I am so excited. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Whee! All right, guys. As I like awkwardly go to get, the one thing that is not ideal is ideally I would have the computer closer by, but I can't have the spinning wheel here and the computer here because that would not work very, very well. But yeah, I am going to drop the Hanukkah link into the chat and the, wait, where is my, oh, and my Halloween link. Halloween yarn is going to ship very soon. Yeah, and then also, I think it's in the description. Yeah, Knit Picks is having a Halloween sale. That was the thing that I had meant to show earlier, and then I didn't come back over here. I am a Knit Picks affiliate, so I do earn commission. And I haven't looked, but oh, if we've got like grays, those are great for over dyeing. Yeah, so like Swish DK and Dove Heather, those would over dye really well. You can over dye darker grays as well, but looking for pastel colors are sometimes a really great way to do that. And one thing that you can do is I will sort the title from A to Z, because then, you know, all those black yarns are all together. And so then you can see if if these are all called silver, it's just they sort it together. Or whisker, here's a color. I mean, these ones are mostly acrylic, but I guess you could see that it's an easier way to get colors sorted similarly. And then I guess there's some 40% off, so sometimes I'll go there and I'll sort it to then decide, oh, Simply Alpaca is a fun one. But anyway, yeah, that link is in the video description, and any of my like Knit Picks links work. It doesn't matter if what product that I've linked to. All that matters is that like I get credit if you go to their website through one of my links, if that makes sense. But yeah, all those fun things, and yeah. I'm very, very excited for what will be coming up. Bye, everyone.